Yadokrada, Sadum Sawagana. Eh, Bob, dear, ye do my CSA. Yeah, you do my CS. What's the baby now? Can you do my? And just say a padia and prep, so be the no. Yeah, ye do my day. So what's your Santibama? If you're doing, can you better than this time? Meboa. And tell them no be free about Tabaka just say, you do. Nana did not go for those. I did be a man your Samu, I'll bury a cinder, your baganaha, or Pia Antono. School structures I see, school to do I see, school buildings I see, a bit to an Ekufuado, or Pia to an Ekufuado. In fact, you have few, and Colako Trump is here, no mutua, as I'm fee, and I do not come for the headache, watch him. Now, Mukaya was here, your problem so much school fees, and I go for the headache. Or no quite president, so Bossy Hospital, Baku, 111, way, now per day. That's all poor girl, the guy that couldn't do. Oh, for that to be home at the enemy, now why not the neighbor? Young Quatro, Kamutia, Opia, Odim, Mortia, Moko Henna Droy, Mortia, the 900 chip de bois. As we are calling, what's the night? As we are calling, the Samu, and then the baby Wendy. Samunia Nabo, Messidai, Mudia Naba, Yadokrada, Sadum Sawagana.
Hello there. Good morning. If you just joined us here on the show, this is midweek edition of Prime Morning. It's time for us to have news flash, and that video was what happened yesterday in Kumasi, Jubilee Park, during the unveiling of Napo as the vice presidential candidate, the running mate for the NPP, and he's going to be closely behind Dr. Bawumia. And some speeches were actually given yesterday. Ohene Japan Kennedy, Honorable, also gave some speech yesterday. The President, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also spoke as well. And the party chairman also spoke yesterday. And of course, the man Napo, who was speaking over there. His speech has been described in so many ways, and we would like to take a look at that this morning here on the show. But you want to send us a message and let us know what you think about that speech yesterday. Some people believe that is the typical Napo, and how he goes about things, the energetic Napo, if you like. Some persons have also criticized the speech, especially with the mention of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in that developmental, progress in terms of independence since 1957, and what president and past presidents have been able to do for the nation. We'll take a look at that also here on the show. He also spoke on some other issues, including the energy sector and also education. We'll take a look at all of that here on the show. Before that, we're going to get into the front page of the newspapers to check out what has been reported. My guests will be seated in the studio, and we'll get to meet them, and then we'll get into the conversation. But don't forget, we're streaming live on Facebook. Do well to send us your messages. Let us know what you think about those, speeches you heard in Kumasi. The 024 Osetutu, the Asante, and he also spoke yesterday as well. We'll take a look at that also here on the show. So let us know your thoughts on all the speeches that you heard, and moving forward, what you make of the NPP party. And you can also do so on our WhatsApp line, which is also very active as well. Now, let's get to the front page of the newspapers real quick, and then we'll get back to our main issues. Now, Daily Guide is here this morning on the front page. It says that cement price control, Kogmag cries foul. That's reported on the front page of the Daily Guide. Bawumia, Napo, Sheikh, Kumasi, police pursue 7 over NPP, Ayawaso West office attack, and Nana comments German government. That's also captured on the front page of Daily Guide. The back page over there says, I let Brazil down. Vinicius Jr. speaks on that. And so the man's passion for football is huge. All set for MTN Ashanti first quarters, and Socceroos star court play in amateur soccer. That's the back page of the Daily Guide. Today, at the middle page somewhere, Haja for Real's baby daddy denies romance scam, and Britney Spears vows never to date again, and Prince David endorses Dr. Bawumia. That's on Some Entertainment, as reported by the Daily Guide this morning. Away from that, the publisher is here, and it says, Asantehene Napo, not arrogant. We trained him well. And it is beautiful, it is possible. Why I picked Napo, Bawumia tells it all. And Snit Saga, hotels not sold, negotiations are ongoing. And that's the new publisher reporting on some issues this morning here. And Republic Crisis also here, and it says Akufo-Addo says no to Mahama, and minority snaps Herbert Crapper's vetting. And we have 1 million ways to win the 2024 election. Want to me boast on that. EC to conduct mobile voter registration exercise from the 1st to the 3rd of August, and 34 prison inmates write BC with hopes for a brighter future. And Alliance for Revolutionary Change will tackle city depreciation head on. Abu Sakara says so. That's the Republic Press this morning. Away from that, the Accra Times is here. It says Muhammad debanks Akufo-Addo NPP free SHS lies, insist I can't cancel what I introduced. And Theoma can blast NDC, allows state institutions to grow. NP is impressed with Wankra project, tasked the contractor to do a good work. And North Daye MP8 BEC candidates, and also Professor S. Kwaku Asare punches CJ Tokuno, and says in his latest article titled The Imperial CJ Strikes Again. That's the Accra Times this morning, and that will be the front page of the various newspapers that we have today. Don't forget that News Flash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, Phone Papa Pathia. This morning, you might want to just go to any of our branches and say you're looking for iPhone, Samsung, or Nokia. If you need a refrigerator and you want to replace the one you have, or you want to buy a new one, the place you have to go is Franco Trading Enterprise. We're tried and tested. We're guaranteed you quality, and it's the place that you want to make your way. Those of us who are looking for huge television screens that we can use in watching the Euros 2024 finale this Sunday, you might just want to go to Franco Trading Enterprise. We've got up to 32 to 55 inches that we can actually give you. So yes, indeed, make your way there and grab one for yourself. Franco Trading Enterprise says, still phone Papa Pathia. Give us a call. You can call on 0555 939311 and speak to us. Our WhatsApp line. You can also send us messages as well. Now, don't forget that our website is also available. You can contact our website. It's www.francotrading.com, and the app is also available on Google Play Store. It's the Franco Trading app, and you're good to go. So it's pretty simple. These are ways that you can connect with us and do business with us, and trust me, you will not regret it. Now, away from that, let's get into the studio. Let me introduce my guest this morning, and then we'll move on to our major issue, and send in your messages on Facebook, especially. We're streaming live, and so once you go there, you can send your messages over there. I'm going to try as much as possible to read from you. This morning, it's all about you, basically, because most of you watched what happened in Kumasi as against what we've seen Professor Nana Jane also, do when she was also unveiled here in Accra. So let us know what you think, comparatively, what you make of the two. Anyway, Dr. Palgrave Danko has joined us this morning here in the studio, and he's always here. Today, he's got his NPP NPP swag on. Let me put it that way. Your NPP swagged up today. You're looking good.
Thank you, KMJ, and a very good morning to you and to your viewing public. And I'm minded to greet my constituency, because all politics is local, the good people of Achimbe-Boakwa North constituency, and even greet the Achimbe-Boakwa South constituency, because it's a twin constituency. It's like second D Takrady.
Yep.
And to greet the flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the running mate of the new patriotic party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe.
Awesome. And Adele is here with us this morning as well, also representing the NDC. And he's also the one who is leading the charge when it comes to the Greater Accra Youth Wing in terms of operations, and also part of the communications team. Adele, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning. Good morning, KMJ. How's the family?
Everybody's good. We're grateful.
Yeah, it's been a long night.
A long night.
Yeah, it's been a long night.
A sleep didn't come.
But we're here. I mean, you keep thinking through, but you just can't get the answers. I've been thinking through the unveiling of Napo yesterday, and we'll get into the topics. And it's just, I can't get over it. It's difficult, but we'll get
there.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us this morning here on the show. So we do appreciate it. Now, we're going to be looking at the speech. Now, there are a few things that he actually tackled. He spoke about education. He spoke about the free SHS, which he believes that has been one of the biggest things that happened to this country. He also spoke about the fact that there's been abundance of even food for the free SHS, which is even making some staff stealing the foods and all that. He also spoke about the fact that we've done well in terms of energy. He spoke about securing 85% votes for the NPP in the Ashanti region, and also spoke about past governments and what they have been able to do for this country in terms of development, which the past president, Kwame Nkrumah, actually came into the picture. A statement that a lot of people have described as, totally uncalled for. But we'll take a look at that. Padre, I don't know whether you were on the grounds, but obviously you were watching, you were listening, and all of that. In a nutshell, what did you make of yesterday's gathering itself?
Well, KMJ, I think it's very clear and evidential that the good people of Ashanti region have welcomed the new Patriotic Party as the party of choice for the present and the future. And we must be very grateful to the Royal Majesty, the Otumfuo Osei Tutu, for continually churning out such words of wisdom and such words of encouragement. I am certain that the Otumfuo Osei Tutu has continually redeemed himself as a statesman and one who is very wise when it comes to advising and admonishing people who are coming into leadership. I have always found such moments as a very humbling moment and very revealing moments of opportunities to learn from such great men who have ascended into the golden stool. Minded to state as well that the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, led the government delegation and led the party delegation as well to introduce two persons, the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party and also the running mate of the new Patriotic Party. Yesterday, Ashanti region was on fire, right up from Meshia South, where the running mate comes from, where he has been MP since 2009. The history is clear to state very evidentially how well he has done as an MP in opposition, how well he has campaigned from 2009, winning the 2012 election and winning the 2016 election. The strength of the running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, is very clear. Strength in health as a practitioner of medicine, strength in implementing President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's one of his legacies, which is the free SHS, strength in the energy sector, and now the opportunity to be the running mate to Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who himself has become now one of the doyen of Ghanaian politics in modernity, with his agenda on digitalizing the Ghanaian economy, for which reason Tony Blair of United Kingdom advises the current Prime Minister to take a look at Ghana and Ghana's strides in a national ID card and Ghana's strides with digitalization. So what I will say is that from yesterday, we are very poised for election 2024. We are very poised to remind Ghanaians of the opportunities of the future. We are very poised to remind Ghanaians of the decisions that they would make that would impact their future. I have always stated that if you choose a good leader, you have good leadership over the next 4 years. If you choose a bad leader, you have bad leadership over the next 4 years. And 4 years, every single year is 365 days. It's not just 7 days in a week. And so people need to be minded of the policies that our government is proposing for the future from 2025 and vote on those policies and make a very concrete decision to have Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the incoming president and Dr. Mark Chiopoko Prempeh as the incoming vice president. And so from yesterday, you can see that the New Patriotic Party is very poised, very together. If you look at everybody that was in Kumasi, from all the aspirants who stood in the flag bearership race, all of them were there. Kennedy Ejapon was there, led the entire team. You saw the national executives as well, led by the party chairman. The general secretary was there. Government officials were there, appointees of government, ministers, deputy ministers, MCs, DCs, CEOs. I mean, I think that we have whipped up the grassroots to prepare ourselves for an effective campaign that would be able to win us the election in December.
Okay, we'll get into the issues of preparation, but let me get Adele's take on that as well. Adele, as compared to what you had here in Accra, in terms of the numbers and all that, the gathering itself, is that a strong warning to the NDC?
KMJ, it is pathetic. Yeah. And you see, they disrespect us too much. The disrespect is just like...
The disrespect from the NPP?
Yeah,
to
like...
the NDC or to the Ghanaian public?
To Ghanaians, like, it's heartbreaking, like, the level to which they disrespect us. And they do these things to you in the face. Like, so much such that if you don't have courage and patience, you just may react.
And this is the NPP speaking to its people in Kumasi.
Yeah, okay, no problem, that's fine. Napo is not a vice presidential candidate for Ashanti region. He's a vice presidential candidate for the entirety of Ghana. You have been elevated from the position of being a minister into being the vice president of the republic. It carries some weight. It is not, I don't know how to say it. It's not ghetto, like it's not a play. So let's start it like this. The Otumfuo said something yesterday, and a lot of people are not paying attention. And I've seen a lot of twists, you know, in the media houses. And I just don't understand why the twist. The Otumfuo said categorically that, listen, I have admonished Napo in the bedroom, but I am going to admonish him again here, outside.
In public.
In public. Now, when he said that, if you watch the cameras move to Napo, you could see the body language between the Otumfuo and Napo, that there has been disagreements, even between the two of them, as to what Otumfuo thinks about him or said to him, you know, in private.
Really?
I'll tell you something, listen. Communication, KMJ, it is the mannerism, it's the facial expression, it is the way you speak, it's the choice of words. It counts. If you watch Otumfuo's face and how he spoke, I pay attention to details. If you watch Otumfuo's face and how he spoke and his facial expression, and you look at Napo's, you probably would have to play this, and you look at Napo's facial expression. In fact, Bawumia was sitting beside him, and because Bawumia was privy to the conversations that happened perhaps earlier, Bawumia, when Otumfuo said, I am going to admonish him outside, Bawumia turned and started smiling, pretty much like, you know, we know what you're going to say. But what did Otumfuo say? Otumfuo said that people are saying that you are arrogant. Matete, I'm listening. I'm hearing people calling you arrogant. You're pompous. And I'm wondering where that is coming from. I am wondering where that is coming from. Because I did not train you like that. Mante told them, I didn't train you like this. I mean, you've been under my feet. I didn't train you like this. People are saying you're arrogant. People are saying you're boastful. But I'm wondering, where is that coming from? Because I did not train you like that. That is Otumfuo indirectly saying that I won't take responsibility for your for your misbehavior. That is he telling the whole of Ghana that I am not responsible. But I still believe, though, that you're not arrogant. Prove them wrong. Go ahead. If there's no problem, go and prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. You know, when he said that, he reminded me of the verse in the Quran, and then I also had, you know, a reminder of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Allah said something in the Quran, Surah Al-Ali Imran. Allah said, وَلَا تُسَعِرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ. See, when you're walking and someone is trying to get to you or someone is trying to talk, don't turn your face with disrespect. Don't be dismissive to people. Don't be harsh. وَلَا تُسَعِرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ. Don't do that to people.
That's who Napo is?
وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. And don't walk on the earth, you know, boastfully. Like, don't be too boastful. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْكُلَّ مُخْتَارٍ فَخُورٍ. Because verily, Allah doesn't love one who is arrogant and boastful. Like, calm down, like, Toboase, like, you know? John Dramani Mahama, on any day, on any platform, when he's given the opportunity to talk, listen to how he's calm, listen to how he pays attention, listen to how he listens, listen to how he answers. This, I mean, what are the people? I want to call on the people of Ghana, honestly, you know, this morning, you know, to sit down and relook. That, look, we're giving away our life for the next 4 years. Certainly, it must count for who holds it. Like, there has to be something, there has to be someone. The first opportunity he had to prove the people of Ghana wrong, the first opportunity he had to listen to the advice of the Otumfuo, the first opportunity he had to bring all of us together for us to say, oh, okay, we said this, but, you know, the guy, he's not like that. What did he do? He took a swipe at someone that his ancestors had to beg and bring from Europe to come and help us attain independence. The Otumfuo, the venerable Otumfuo, the man with wisdom, he speaks less. You need to pay attention. He speaks with parables. The man Otumfuo would not have even said that about Nkrumah.
You think it was a disappointment to Otumfuo after all the speech?
Extreme disappointment. Extreme disappointment. Don't be arrogant. People are saying you're arrogant. Don't do it. Prove them wrong.
But in the end, if he doesn't see that's arrogance.
Okay, so there's a definition for it. There is.
Comparing presidents.
How many people?
Other presidents based on development.
No. It is. You see, that is why I told you communication. You know, it's not just talking. You know, gone are the days when we used to say talk is cheap. Talk is not cheap. Trust me. People talk to live. Talk is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that his mannerism, you know, it is the dismissiveness, like how he does it. That is why I quoted the verse for you. It's how he dismissed him. Come and take your Nkrumah.
But if you had said it in a different way, would it still have made any difference?
There is no difference. That's he's just the way he is. There's no difference.
Because
the mannerism.
Talking about
did you
in his own opinion, in terms of achievement, development.
Okay, let's talk.
The government,
No problem. Let's talk. Nkrumah built Chida Kosombo Dam. Which of them have they built? Which one did Nanado build? Nkrumah has given you regional hospitals. Which one did Nanado build? Which of the universities did Nanado build?
They also say they brought free SHS.
Are you kidding me? KMJ, listen. It doesn't, look, it's not, that is why John Dramani Mahama... Please. You see, these things, that is why I said it is disrespectful. Look, John Mahama says, don't even compare Nanado to Kufuor. Don't even compare Nanado to Rawlings. I'm here, me, small boy, last one, or my younger brother, no, compare, let's do that comparison. Who knows Napo across the borders of Togo? Who knows him? Nkrumah is that one person who has rallied this entire world, gave hope to the entirety of Africa. when the whole world respects him as someone coming from your home, and we expect you as a vice presidential candidate hoping to sit in that seat to elevate the man and to put him on that pedestal and say that you're wishing and hoping that you would become like Nkrumah, that Nana Addo would have lived like Nkrumah, that Bawumia would have lived like Nkrumah. You dismiss him, and he did that with so much. What word should I use? But like, come and take him, kind of like so. So Nkrumah is not even for us. Like, it's your Nkrumah, go for him. Leave that one aside. The other issue, which is of critical issues, then he said, Bawumia is a problem solver. Bawumia also comes to say, Napo is a problem solver. He solves problems. Bawumia is not a fixer. And I'll tell you why. He's not a fixer. Napo is not a fixer. John Dramani Mahama, Mami Jane, they are fixers, and I'll tell you why. John Dramani Mahama is that
okay, you'll take a minute, and then I'll go to Kyrie.
Is that visionary leader. The man is humble, he's experienced. You see what I'm saying? Aside the fact that he's visionary, he's a fixer. Napo doesn't have what it takes to solve problems. That is why Api Akubi told you that he can't lead them. He's not the kind of person that can rally people around. He's dismissive. He's disobedient. So Otumfuo again calls the attention of people and told them that, listen, I'm saying, look, the king, when he speaks, and I'm calling on all NDCs, go back and replay the video. Like, pay attention. I played it over and over. His demeanor when he spoke is not to be taken for granted. He went again and told him, go and listen to Bawumia. Humble yourself. Listen to him. What he tells you to do is what you should do. That is not a joke. That's deep. He's not a fixer. Who are fixers? We all come to a conclusion on this table today that the country has found itself at a place that requires fixing. Someone comes to in fact, Bawumia himself has admitted that Ghana needs fixing. I agree. We need fixing. Bawumia says, when I come, I'll do things differently. I'll be my own man. I'm not going to be under Nana Addo. I will be the first time, it'll be the first time that I am going to do things differently. Agreeably, we need fixing. We need to change something. When you're given an opportunity to fix, you fix. Bawumia's first test was when he said that Ghana's economy was a mess under John Dramani Mahama. So we would say, okay, no problem. Ghana's economy was bad under John Dramani. Let's give it to them. It was bad. You're supposed to be a fixer. Fixing from 3.4 per dollar to 16 per dollar. That's fixing. It's not a fixer. Bawumia has not got the temerity, the guts to be able to open his mouth on any platform since the problems came to speak on the economy. And you know what, KMJ, let me add this before I even go, and maybe you go to Paul and come back. You go to Paul and come back. And then let me just land on this. KMJ, when you have money, when you have wealth, and say you have wives or girlfriends or friends, everyone will live with you, right? Like, it is never a problem. Like, the relationship will be good. If everything is good, everything is good. The real test of men comes when there are issues. It is warped for any government to think that you would want to come and govern for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, and think that there would never be a problem. But when there is a problem, your real test is when there's a problem. And when there's a problem, the way you handle the problem and the way you relate to people and the way you come to people and bring them together is what brings the test. Bawumia, when he was hit with his first problem, COVID, he ran away. He left the economy. He ran away from it. He went into digitization. Until today, he's still talking about digitization.
Okay, Adele, I'll come back to you again. But Pirate, now, we've had political historians. I mean, Professor Edujemfi came at me 5 days ago and said that Napo's scripts should be given to him moving forward in terms of his speeches. There have been other people who have been very concerned about what happened yesterday. In your opinion, you think that it was the typical Napo that we saw over there, or it's the man who is ready to make sure the NPP is able to get the 85% that we're looking for in Kumasi, like he said, that he will be bringing to them?
KMJ, I am of the opinion that leaders do more And when leaders are given an opportunity, they must do more. And I mean, much as I've heard what people have said about some of the statements that were made by our running mate, I would want to put it in context. Because one of the things that you would always expect is that leaders will do more. Successive leaders will do more. That leaders that have come post Dr. Kwame Nkrumah will do more. Because then Buzia will do more than Nkrumah, that President Jerry Rawlings will do more than Nkrumah, that President Ivan Satamus will do more than Nkrumah, that President John Ajay Kufuor will do more than Nkrumah, that President John Dramani Mahama will do more than Nkrumah, that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will do more than Nkrumah. Because at the time of President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, you recall that the population of Ghana was between about 5 million to 6 million people. And we are in 2024, where we are looking at a total population of about 34 million people, Ghanaians. And so the demands are very different. The technology is very different. Modern trends have come in. And so you would expect that every single leader would do more. And I would want to situate it in that context. I know that people would want to take advantage, political advantage of certain situations and certain statements. And I listened very well. And I know that on political platforms, the energies are different and the morals are different.
So could he have said it in a different way?
No, I mean, so you
Looking
see...
at how he said it.
No,
and I quote, and he says that no president has developed Ghana than President Akufo-Addo, not even your Kwame Nkrumah.
No,
could have said in a different way that we wouldn't have gotten to where we are right now.
No, you see, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a man that cannot be touched. Because
he's certainly touched.
No, let me put it in context.
Okay.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a man that cannot be touched. And I'll state this. On the 4th of August, 1947, my great-grandfather, Dr. J.B. Dankwa, proposed that Ghana was ready for independence. And you would know the history thereof, that in 10 years afterwards, Ghana gained independence. And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, together with the leaders of Ghana, and which is why we mentioned the Big Six, who have their faces on our currency. We mentioned the Big Six, and so we believe that the fathers of the country is a together unity that we were able to have. Obviously, you cannot have 6 people leading a country at a time when we gained independence in 1957. And so Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had to be the one who would lead the country. And Nkrumah we know, is of international repute. He wanted to unify Africa. You go to any single country in Africa and people remember Dr. Kwame Nkrumah than they can even remember the runabout of a name. And so Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a great leader of repute in Ghana and even globally. But that is why I'm saying that leaders do more, which is why you would not expect that the things that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah has done, there wouldn't be an addition of that, because then you would expect that leaders do greater than what other leaders have done, which is why I want to put it in context. That leaders do more. At the time when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was president, prime minister, and then president of the Republic of Ghana, Ghana's population was about 5 million to 6 million, which is between 1957 to 1960. We are in 2024 and we are looking at a total population of about 34 million approximately. And we are even projecting that by the time Ghana gets to about 2050, we're going to have a total population of about 52 million people. And so I would want to situate it in context that, yes, on political platforms, the energies are different, the contexts are different. You are addressing grassroots, you are addressing various people. It's an initial introductory statements that have been made by the running mates. And there were other things that he spoke about. Obviously, his sector in education, he ran that down very well on the implementation, on the schools, on the TVETs, on the universities, on his engagements with the various unions within the
on free
sector.
just mentioned that there has been abundance of food. Some people are even stealing the food. Free HHS, when it comes to feeding, has always been a problem.
You know, KFJ, I have always been of the opinion that you know that one of the major focuses of putting up educational facilities is to be able to acquire knowledge, and I feel that knowledge is always very important than some other things. I mean, I can appreciate.
But this is a political platform.
No, absolutely.
You would have to be very careful what you say. What is there? What is not?
Absolutely. I mean, I can appreciate the fact that there are some teething challenges with feeding and the number of people who have
have problems with suppliers
who have
and all that.
problems with supply and all of that. But you see, for me, when I look at the free SHS policy, I'm not just looking at food. I'm really just looking at the quality of education that the young people have an opportunity to endear themselves to. Because you would want to backtrack a little bit to many years ago in this Fourth Republic when we didn't have free SHS. What was the scenario? What was the situation? How many young people fell off junior high school and didn't have an opportunity to go again? You would want to situate that. I can appreciate those teething challenges as well. And I've heard people talk about the economy, and I would want to state this. You know, KMJ, Ghana's economy from 2017 grew at a single-digit inflation. And I would want to state this. If you want to have a placebo, which is like an experiment in the laboratory, just take COVID-19 out of Ghana's economy from President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government and take Russia's invasion of Ukraine out of Ghana's economy from President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government and place that same scenario into the government of John Dramani Mahama or John Evans Atta Mills and John Dramani Mahama because they co-shared one term. Just take that and put it in. You would rather now be able to rate the efficacy and the potency of the economy, which is why when we state that we have performed better in this current economy than the then John Dramani Mahama government, we state it in context that if you take the issues that were planted globally with COVID-19, and even when we were even recovering, and how nobody ever thought within the UN Security Council in that room that Russia was going to invade Ukraine, and how many countries needed to now resend back, and how we've been able to bounce back better. And I hear the argument from the NDC, that the NDC makes an argument of a dollar rate of 3 and now a dollar rate of 16. I mean, you see, when you're comparing these things, you must also compare it vis-a-vis the years that have passed. You cannot compare it dismissive of the years that have passed.
That is true, but it's also the fact that the rate at which
the global
is a bit scary. Because we're looking give and take. We might just end up in 20 by the end of the year.
I don't think so, KMJ. I don't think so.
So it's probably the way it's moving.
No, KMJ, I don't think.
As against the economy that you have
I don't think that, the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, made a statement that Sikam Pedede. Money doesn't like noise. And you know that perceptions also increases the expectation of how our forex is played out in the market, which is why, for me, I don't think that we would get to a 20 Ghana cedi. Because, you see, you realize when the Minister for Finance gave his monthly update on the Ghanaian economy, he mentioned the steps and the measures that have been put in place to ensure that our cedi becomes more robust, to ensure that...
A couple of weeks ago, he said it was going to get better. We've not seen that happening yet. When he gave his speech in the UK.
No, but...
He mentioned that even in the next day or so, in a couple of days or so, this is about 2 weeks now.
No, but
or even more.
But KMJ, you have seen that the Ghana cedi has become relatively stable. You have seen that. We have come from a background where the cedi was dropping every single minute, which was about a year or two ago. We have not seen that anymore, because we've been able to put in very robust measures to ensure that our cedi does not depreciate against the trading forexes. And I would state that you need to be able to look at some of the measures that government has put in place. You need to be able to, in looking at some of the measures that government has put in place, you also need to be able to look at the deliverables of government. And the deliverables of government is very evidential to be able to state that, of course, our government has performed better than the NDC government. If you pick COVID-19 out of our government and pick Russia's invasion of Ukraine and place that same in the NDC government, I'm not too sure where the Ghanaian economy would have been, which is why going into the 2024 general election, we are going to campaign beyond the comparisons that would make with the John Dramani Mahama government. We're going to make significant comparisons of what President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has been able to do in the 8 years opportunities that Ghanaian people gave to him, vis-a-vis the 4 year, the 3.5 year of John Evans Atta Mills and the 4.5 year of John Dramani Mahama. And compare that and be able to see that, of course, if you give a mandate to the New Patriotic Party and you give a mandate to Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and the incoming president of Ghana, you would see even more in this country.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take some messages, but don't forget that the segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise for Papa Pafi. Now, when I come back after the messages...
I'm coming back.
No, I'll come back to you. We actually even have to take a look at the weight of the two messages that were presented,
right.
Napo's own and then that of Professor Jane. People are criticizing in terms of speech, which one has weight in terms of policies and all of that. So we'll try and see how best we can look at that as well. But let me get some messages and see what our viewers are also saying. Okay, let me go here. This one says, good morning, KMJ. I am speaking from Cape Coast. I'm highly disappointed by Napo. Why does he speak low like that? This I would want to urge Palgrave rather to help Napo to be courteous in his speeches than to urging him on. Adele, I need your number. Your submission is very exquisite. Okay. Let me move on to the next one. Good morning, KMJ. In Ghana, we misconstrue someone who is bold to be arrogant. In another word, who is more arrogant than JM, who said he is a dead goat and doesn't fear a knife. We in the NPP are grateful that the NDC are not challenging Napo's competence, but rather has problem with his boldness. Greetings to Honorable Lawyer Abu Jinapo, MP for Damango. Let me go to Akisman. It says, good morning, KMJ. Married men, let's be honest. Under this NPP government, making ends meet is a daily struggle because of chop money. We rise early, toil on our farms, and still our wives ask for chop money. But remember, when John Mahama led the country, money was circulating and we enjoyed life's comfort. We could afford what we wanted, savor our favorite foods, and even momentarily forget our family responsibilities. KMJ, you know for sure what I'm saying regards to CEO of A&A Drinking Water. Let me go to Akonsi Gariba in Tamale. It says, good morning, KMJ. Napo partnership with Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will eventually win the NPP party power on the 7th of December 2024. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh speaks tough as teak, and the NDC party doesn't like people like that, like Dr. Napo, for the way they speak to people with disrespect. If Ghanaians are sincere to ourselves, almost every communicator of the NDC party is arrogant and abusive in their choice of words on both radio and television. It's possible for Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Napo. Let me go to this one over here. And it says that, good morning, host. Ask this NPP communicator if he knows this, because even Kufuor and Akufo-Addo have entered our history as a former president. Why not Mahama? My man, respect you be elderly person, please. Moses from Nigeria sent in that one. Moses, okay. Thanks for watching from Nigeria, by the way. Good evening, good morning here. My name is C.O. Okla. I think Ghana has deserted NPP this time because nothing is attractive to them. Their leaders are extremely naive and arrogant in their ways of talking. They are also noisy and boastful in their discourse with the public. Okay, then let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ and your panel. What they did yesterday, is it an entertainment show or unveiling running mate? And even giving the microphone came to show arrogant again by saying this nepotism government has done what Kwame Nkrumah. This is the weakest pair the NPP has. When they speak, people have to come back and explain to us again. Compared to J&J, when they speak, the NPP will surely go to opposition. My regards to Professor Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, incoming MP for Esikado Ketan constituency. This one over here says that I strongly disapprove of the harmful trend of chiefs and traditional leaders publicly endorsing political candidates. This practice undermines the impartiality and neutrality that are essential to the esteemed office of traditional leaders. Chiefs and traditional leaders should serve as unifying figures above partisan politics and focus on promoting the welfare and well-being of their people, regardless of political affiliations. By taking partisan stances, they risk dividing their communities, eroding trust, and compromising their revered positions. We urge chiefs and traditional leaders to uphold their noble traditions and maintain a neutral stance in political matters. Joseph Smart from Keta sent in that. Let me go on here and see what we have. This one says, well, good morning, KMJ. What an excellent organization by the NPP in the Ashanti region yesterday. Well and thoughtful speeches from all the speakers. Indeed, Ghanaians are faced with choosing between the lesser of two devils, choosing between the past and the present. Generational thinkers and congratulations to the incoming President and Vice President Bawumia and Napo. We are moving forward, not backwards. We are moving to the future, not the past, as the past is the past. All right. Let me go to this one over here and says, KMJ, with all due respect, yesterday delivery of Napo being a vice presidential candidate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, majority of the NPP guys were disappointed, including my senior NPP brother in your studio. And that's John in Aflao. How do you know he was disappointed? Good morning, KMG. A decorated monkey is still a monkey. The arrogant Napo cannot change. Looking at his face when Otufo was advising him shows that he's arrogant. He was seen throwing his hands at someone when he was coming to the Durban. How can Napo say that your Kwame Nkrumah will not match Akufo-Addo? Bawumia and arrogant Napo ticket will be a disaster. Ghanaians should vote massively for the humble man, John Dramani Mahama, to bring the 24-hour economy. Everyone will chop per chair. Okay, let me go to this one. KMJ, good morning. In fact, yesterday's speech by Napo was not only uninspiring, but distortion of fact. How could Napo say Nana Addo has done better than hardworking Kufuor, Almighty Rawlings, and global icon Dr. Nkrumah? Indeed, Ghana has done well under Nana Addo, yet we can't pay our debt. We can't pay bondholders. Food price has gone higher than before. Unemployment has gone higher than before. Corruption has gone higher than before. What an irony. Our fathers say a tree is measured well when it falls. Nana Yao in Techiman sent in that. This one says, good morning to the youth of Ghana. In this year's election, I want to urge all the youth in this country should come out in their numbers and vote massively for John Dramani Mahama. Please, we need to get angry and vote out this wicked NPP government. Napo is the veterinary vice president of the NPP, the arrogance of Bawumia, and Napo can't change anything in this country. Abochi Philip from Keta sent in that. This one says, KMJ, I swear with a person like Napo as a VP, Ghana is going to have a bigger problem. Believe that. I am Adams from Kanda Highway. Adams sent in that. Another one over here says, we told you Napo is arrogant. Kwame Nkrumah ana. Our Kwame Nkrumah, is he Napo a Nigerian? Character is like pregnancy. You can never hide it. By Waki Ki in the chip. Sent in that one. Okay, so those are repeated messages that he sent. Hopefully to get my attention, you did. Good morning. The least said about Napo, the better, you meant to say. He has exhibited his arrogance yesterday. Napo partnering Bawumia is already a disaster. Manasseh liar, arrogance, disaster. Ghanaians are descending. Vincent sent in that. Let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. NPP is poised to break in the 8. It's now clear that, yes, indeed, NPP will retain power. The ticket to Dr. Bawumia and Napo is the game changer. What is the fear of Dr. Napo to NDC? And that's the big question he's asking. He says Dr. Bawumia will win the election like any other elections in Africa. That's Basai Komla Matthias who sent in that. Let me go to this one over here. It says, Mensa Majid is sending this one from Bechim, Toronto. And it says, my regards to the Honorable Charles Akwasi Essiedu, the incoming MP for Tano South constituency. Now, post comparison of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's achievement to President Nana Addo's achievement is an insult to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How can anyone compare these corrupt, super incompetent economic management mismanagers and reckless borrowers to Dr. Nkrumah? The arrogance of Napo can't be hidden. They bashed people across the length and breadth of the country, yet there were a lot of spaces in Jubilee Park. It clearly shows that the Ashantis need development and not T-shirts. They need humble leaders, not arrogant talkers. Napo was shamelessly saying, there's no doomsday in Ghana. They won't accept the problems we're facing. So how can they solve them? So sad. Let's vote massively for JDM on December 7th, NPP, never again. Maybe I'll do a last one, and then we'll have a a bit of a studio conversation, and we'll come back to some of the messages later. This one says, good morning, Joy Prime and viewers. Miss Ramu Masiri Mon says, Napo, do they listen to Ghanaians when we say yes, Seremo to this government? God strengthen Ghanaians. Free advice to the NPP. They should never ever make any mistake by praising Akufo-Addo in anything campaign for votes. Ghanaians are not happy with him. All right, so those are some of the messages that you have sent. I would like to say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise phone Papa Party this morning for bringing us this segment. Don't forget that you can get refrigerators, you can get phones, you can buy also from us some television screens that you want to replace or the new ones that you want to get. All you have to do is to go to any of our branches nationwide and you'll be able to get that. Our WhatsApp line is very active. You can also call us on 0555-939311 and visit our website as well. It's www.francotrading.com and you can just get all the details you need, the branches, the prices, the items that we have, your guaranteed quality, and that's what we want you to actually go and get for yourself. Now, let's get back to the studio, but don't forget you can also send your messages on Facebook. We're streaming live over there as well, so you can drop your messages over there and let us know what you think. Now, let me get back to the studio. Adele.
KMJ.
So, there have been two speeches from two running mates, yes. Professor Jane, and we've heard from Napo as well. Now, political historian Prof. Jemfi is actually asking that we get people who can write for Napo. In your case, do you think that you made a better representation of yourselves during that representation at UPSC than what Napo actually did in terms of policies?
Yeah, MJ, I mean, it's obvious. Look, when Nana Jane spoke, you saw the news the following day. You heard people speak. You heard the neutral speak. And how they basically extolled her and said, okay, we're seeing, someone different. We're now seeing the kind of person she is. That entire speech was a blend of humbleness and still with the skin of a lioness. She spoke to the hearts of people while calling and cautioning the New Patriotic Party. This was a woman that was given the platform, and she actually had a speech. She came with a speech.
It was scripted.
I'm bringing you. She came with a script, with a speech. She placed it aside. When she started speaking, it was brought back to her. She placed it aside.
So everything she said was not from the script?
No. She spoke without a script.
Well, all the policies and everything that
I am telling you that she spoke without a script. It was just, when you sit down, you think about it.
How do we confirm that? And you are an NDC person, so maybe you might just say that.
KMJ, media houses were there. When someone is reading from a script, go back and look at the videos. When someone is reading from the script, you know. When you're reading from your laptop, we know. Do you know what happens? Because you lower your gaze every now and then. You have to lower, pick, lower, pick. Was she?
She didn't do anything.
No! She folded it at the point she was holding it and spoke from her heart. Listen to how she galvanized the support of the women. Listen to how she took her time to take a swipe at the NPP and then reminded them that we have never seen such recklessness. Listen to what she said about John Dramani Mahama. Like, she basically just put everything together. On the day we were outdooring her, is this an outdooring? Someone asked you whether it was an entertainment program. We were expecting to hear...
I also believe that demeanor that Napo actually showed during his presentation is actually what the country needs, because then you would not use humility to change the fortunes of the country. You would want somebody who has the energy, somebody who is proactive. So as much as he's not as humble as you may think he is, he's got what it takes to move the country forward.
Okay,
is that not what you're looking at?
No problem. You're making reference to the speech, the outdooring. I'm coming. You're making reference to the outdooring and then the outdooring of Mami.
Exactly.
I am saying that Napo had the platform. Mami Jane had the platform. Both of them have spoken. I'm asking you, asking the average Ghanaian watching us this morning, what did they take away from Napo's speech yesterday? aside the anger?
He spoke about policies. He mentioned free SHS.
Okay, so he mentioned... No, I'm coming.
CSA.
Yeah. He mentioned free SHS.
Spoke about development.
And accused teachers for stealing food. When he knows that school feeding is in arrears and the caterers are shouting and the kids don't have food in school. Joy News made those documentaries. That's what I'm saying. Look, aside the fact that the man is arrogant, he's a liar too. I mean, the least you can do is to be truthful to the facts. So now teachers, head teachers, are stealing children's food when you know that you're not sending the food. When you know that at a point in time, Joy News did an interview, a documentary, and then brought out that in some of the schools, they had like 2 bags, 3 bags of maize, some no sugar, some no milk. I'm saying, put the 2 of them together on any day. If you have a son and you have a daughter, and you want your son or your daughter to emulate anyone, Mommy Jane, Napo, the 2 of them, who do you give it to? If you ask me, I'll say Jane. And I told you earlier on, again, that the man is not a fixer. We have a problem. John Dramani Mahama is a fixer, and I'll come to that. But let me tell you why Napo is not a fixer. You know, Godfrey Dami is making some noise yesterday. He said that, they have gone to win a certain case regarding any, ENI and, Springfield. I'll tell you what happened. So, KMJ, why John Dramani Mahama is a fixer is this. After we decided to resolve the issues of Dumso, we realized that we needed to do a little more, in terms of oil field. Before we left government, we gave them 2 additional oil fields. So they are drilling from 3. Out of the 3, as we speak, in 2019, they were drilling almost 78 million barrels. Today, they are doing 34 million barrels thereabout. 40-something million barrels, on a yearly basis. So they have actually dropped, even in terms of oil production, to about 32%. That's what they have done. We don't know where that oil is going to. We don't know where the monies are going to, but we're saying that they have dropped. Aside that, what they tried to do was to basically explore fields. So ENI was exploring. Let me give you an example. ENI was exploring here. Springfield was also exploring here. Both of them. Napo has been in the energy ministry before. I'm trying to tell you why he's not a fixer. ENI was exploring. No, don't worry. No, there's an issue that has come up. That's why we're having this conversation. ENI is drilling here. Springfield is drilling here. Now, what happens is that you drill and then you find oil, but then you need to be able to decide whether the oil that is actually downstream is, is commercial, is of commercial value. It won't make sense to put money into it, and then what you're drilling out is less than the investment you're going to make. So you need to first explore and then find it out. Now, when that was done, it so happened that both ENI and Springfield, they are so close to each other that the wells, run underneath each other. So pretty much, even though they are drilling from 2 different points, but underneath, it's almost as if they are sharing whatever they're bringing out. So they're supposed to do unitization. Unitization basically means that we have to check and see what quantities are here, what quantities ENI can bring out, and what quantities this one can bring out. And then because the fields are actually, meshed underneath, we can come to a conclusion as to how they are going to share whatever money comes out from it. Unitization basically means that the 2 of them coming together, instead of building 2 wells, because this one has invested, this one has invested. If you want to build a well here and build an FPSO here, build another FPSO here, it won't make any economical sense. So what we'll do is that let's build one and then share. But before we can build one for you to share the dividends, we need to find out what quantity this one can pull out and what quantity this one can pull out. Then we can come to a conclusion of saying, okay, you take 30%, I'll take 70%, because from where I'm coming, mine is going to be more than yours. It only makes sense that you allow that unitization to be done after they have actually ascertained what each partner will bring. Do you know what they did? And Amewu did something here. They just signed it off and said that, Springfield, they have given Springfield 60% and then giving ENI 40%. Just come together and then do it. ENI said, no, we can't do that. The reason why we can't do it is that we don't even know, as we speak, what quantities are going to come from both wells. So we would have to find out first before we can agree on a percentage and then unitize. Amewu said no. Energy Ministry said no. Immediately they signed the contract and then gave it by force. Go and do it. E&I went to court in Ghana. Can you believe that from the High Court all the way to the Supreme Court, none of them saw logic in what E&I was saying. So E&I decided to do what? To run out of Ghana. At a point in time, the courts in Ghana were even looking for him for contempt. He had to run away and enter Cote d'Ivoire. That's the E&I boss. He went to international court. International court looks at the document and says, no, Ghana, you're wrong. First of all, you don't have the right to unitize if you don't find out what quantities both of them can bring. All the judgments you have received in court, in Ghanaian courts, the international court says that, put it aside, they have been awarded 189,000 euros cost to Ghana for all the waste that they had to go through in court. And that is almost 3.4 million Ghana cedis. They have been awarded that. They were asking for some extra, monies, and then the court declined. But the court has told them, come back to Ghana and try and fix this issue. Do you know why I said Napo is not a fixer? Because you see, immediately after Napo left, Amewu left, he took over. When you take over a ministry and there's a pending problem, when you have the skill, what you do is that you try to resolve the issue. You try to fix it. Fixers come into problems and then fix it. When there's a problem, you look at the situation, you find a way. You say you want to turn Ghana's problems around. After Nana Akufo-Addo, Bawumia mixing the state up, you say you want to fix it. If you're coming, you should be able to prove to us that you're actually a fixer. When he came in, do you know what he did? He sat down, washed. This whole mess got there until today. We're being asked to pay any 3.4 million Ghana cedis, which is old currency, 34 billion. Again, we are also being told that the energy ministry and the entirety of government has to go back and then cancel that agreement that it has written and then come back to do what they were supposed to have done from the beginning. 5 years wasted. And because of that, you've not been able to bring one extra barrel apart from one John Dramani Mahama left for you. So imagine the difference. If John Dramani Mahama had not thought ahead of time to give you the kind of wells he gave you, for you to come and drill from it, so much such that today you have benefited from it. Even what he left for you, from what we're drilling, in 2019, 78 million barrels. Today you are doing less than, you've actually dropped to 32%, due to you've not been able to add some. Did you know that in Greater Accra alone, we added 40 million barrels of water? KMJ, John Dramani Mahama, the fixer that he is, he sat down, he thought, that is what fixing is about. Sit down, you think, visionary. He thought, some years to come, Accra is getting choked. We would have to find ways. Look, at a point in time, we had to bring water from all the way up north in order to get to people like in Adenta for the first time in history. 40 million barrels are waiting. The same thing we did to them with Dumso. We gave them extra, excess capacity so you can grow in it. You have sat down and you have grown in it. Water, you have sat down and you have grown in it. Did you know that today, I don't know how you feel, but at your home, I'm sure that you're managing your water very well because me, in Fish Pond, for more than almost a month now, your tap comes like once or twice in a week. Once or twice in a week. This is how serious the issue is. So when you take Nana Jane and you take Napo, look, I'll tell you something. Professor Nana Jane, negotiated, secured, and left behind $45 million for the construction of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in the Eastern Region. She did that. She left for Napo. Nana Jane negotiated, secured, and left behind some $75 million under the 2014 World Bank-supported $156 million secondary education improvement project. That's the SAPE project. Nana Jane, again, Prof, left over $20 million for various TVET and skills development initiatives under COVID. Nana Jane is that one person that took away, schools under trees. She got rid of it, schools under trees. She got rid of it under her time. Nana Jane is that one person that made sure that the whole double track system that existed in our schools had been taken away. Napo had to bring it back. You want to compare the two?
Okay. Paragraph, let me come to you. The issue about the energy thing and Springfield and all that. Is government aware of this?
KMJ, before we even get there, let me come to what happened yesterday. Okay, KMJ, what happened yesterday is an unveiling. The running mate, Dr. Matthew Poko Prempeh, is yet to deliver a speech. What happened yesterday is an unveiling. It's very different from what the NDC did.
What happened yesterday was just...
it's an unveiling. It's an unveiling.
This is the running mate that we have.
This is the running mate, okay? Because, you record when the NDC also had their unveiling. And then also now Prof came to deliver his speech. So we had an unveiling. You can't compare what we did because yesterday was just an unveiling. So
there'll be another time for him
Absolutely. There will be a grand time where the running
But we
mate...
don't have time now.
No,
we could have many months to elections.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. It's our political party and the strategies that we have put in place. Okay, it's the running mate of the New Patriotic Party is now going to have time to expound a lot more on the policies that are coming from the flag bearer of the New Patriotic
That would be scripted.
Party. Oh no, you see, KJ, your emphasis.
There's been consensus about it.
Your emphasis on script and not script.
There's been consensus about it because
I don't think.
I'm thinking that this is the time for him to now speak on policies.
Yes,
right?
but that is what I'm saying.
And it's one thing you can't take it for granted.
Absolutely, not at all. I mean, all elections are won on policy.
Exactly.
Yes,
so it's not bad to say that. Okay.
Which is why
moving forward,
which is why I'm stating very clearly. I mean, this is the running mate to the flag bearer, Alhaji Dr. Bawumia, who presented his vision statement on the 7th of February, 2024 at the UPSA. And he mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was an unveiling of the running mate. It wasn't an opportunity for the running mate to spend out his own contributions to the flag bearer's vision. Okay? That hasn't happened yet. And so the NDC...
So we can assess him based on that.
No, you can't do a comparison because that hasn't happened yet. He's not giving a policy position of the implementable vision of his flag bearer. That hasn't happened yet. So we should give him some time. He's going to come and deliver a policy statement that aligns very well with the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Yesterday's event is very key and very clear. It was an unveiling. We are unveiling the running mate of the flag bearer and for the party. That was what was happening. That was what happened yesterday. It was an unveiling. It wasn't a delivery of policies. It wasn't a delivery of speeches. Not at all. It was an unveiling. It's just like what happened when Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia won the flag bearership race. He won it, and then afterwards, the party leader, which is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, handed over the leadership of the party to the new flag bearer, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, at the stadium. I was present at that event. And then now, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, having won the election in November, now delivered his vision statement in February to allow the Ghanaian people know what he is coming to do. And so what happened yesterday is similar to what happened in November. It's an unveiling of our running mates. The NDC should exercise patience. We are now going to have time to do a proper comparison, to do a dissecting of the former education minister and now running mates to John Dramani Mahama and former VC. We're now going to do a proper comparison. So they should exercise patience.
Are you confident that after that is done, would have less of criticisms of him?
No, you see...
Because his demeanor counts a lot too. And maybe I'm just hitting on that point that much. But
there's no one in public office who doesn't have criticism. I mean,
absolutely, I agree. But in the office where he occupies,
I receive many criticisms on a minute-to-minute basis.
Yeah,
I see my videos go viral on things that has been misconstrued. I see Adele share my videos and try to.
But this is the second gentleman of the man we're talking about here.
That is why I'm saying. No, you see,
it might be a public space, but
then I'm not. You see, if you're a leader and you don't receive criticisms, then you should be mindful how you're leading because every leader receives criticisms. You understand?
Which is great.
Which is great. Yeah. And so, for me, I'm stating very clearly that now we have a running mate who we are hoping and praying that the Ghanaian people would give the flag bearer who is on the ballot, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the candidature and the presidency to lead Ghana from the 7th of January 2025. When that happens, then the running mate becomes the vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And so we should allow some time and some restraint because what happened yesterday is an unveiling. He has not delivered a policy statement in support of the policy directives that the flag bearer has brought out. And so they should, and he says that Nana Jane was given a paper and so everybody knows that they are prompters. These prompters are always in front of people when they are delivering speeches. Everybody knows that you can decide not to have a paper in front of you, but there's a teleprompter that is always prompting for you to be able to read. We know how these things work. And you see, it's not being twatted about it. I mean, this is a man who is a medical doctor by profession. This is a man who has studied wide, traveled wide. This is a man who headed the Menchia South constituency campaign effectively, won successive elections, won 4 elections since 2009. Okay, this is a man who has been in parliament as a minority member and now as a majority member, a man who has been minister for education. Exceedingly, I have stated that the Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh will go down in the history of Ghana whenever President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's free SHS is mentioned, because he's the minister that implemented it. Okay, you cannot take that away from him. And so I would state that what happened yesterday is an unveiling. We are now going to have the running mate of the new patriotic party to Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer, deliver a policy statement in support of what the flag bearer has already stated. We are yet to even launch our manifesto. So there's a lot of things that are coming in. The NDC should exercise some
The
faith.
big stake over here, though, it will be what he mentioned in terms of what he brings to the table. Yes, Kumasi is a big deal for the NPP and all of that. He promised that he'll be able to move beyond even the 85%, and he's actually asked the Kumasi people to help him do that. Are you confident that the entire situation about we want Napo to come because we want some sort of votes from Kumasi will be something that he'll be able to achieve from what you said?
You know, KMJ, from 2009, when Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh picked over from Adokufo, you recall that he was the MP for Mesia South, the former Minister for Defense during John Ajekum Kufuor's tenure as presidency. And you look at the percentages. I've studied the percentages. It's always been in the 70s. I've seen that the NDC appreciated to about 26% in Ashanti region in the 2016 election or even the 2020 election. I can't quite recall readily now. But I am very confident that having seen that a member of parliament now has been given the opportunity to become a running mate, and a man who is coming from the stronghold of the new patriotic party. In this world, everybody has a stronghold.
Absolutely.
I know that the NDC has a stronghold in the Volta region. I mean, that's their basin, that's their World Bank. We are also hoping very clearly that the Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh from Ashanti region, from Mesia South, would be able to appreciate very much the percentages from the 70s into the 80s. And so when he makes a statement like that, together with the regional campaign manager, who is the Honorable Boisiakun Chairman Wuntumi, very clearly and very confidently that every single constituency that they have in Ashanti region will be able to appreciate their votes. And so there's a lot more work that is going to be done. And I'm certain that within the period that we have, the level of work that would be done will be able to appreciate the votes and appreciate the numbers, because that is key. Elections is all about numbers. You understand? So, I mean, all the strategies that the NDC has put in place to be able to, I've heard that they also want to come to about 35% or so in this.
Which they intend to work very vigorously.
But we are also working very hard, which is what I'm saying.
Was he able to convince the grassroots based on that? Because a lot of people also felt that we've said so much that we've not been able to do. And so he should have, first of all, led the grassroots, just like Kennedy Ohinejapan did, which a lot of people have, praised him for. That, we believe there are issues. We know that we could have done better and all of that. But moving forward, can we all rally around and make this happen? He didn't come from any of that angle. His own angle was the fact that it is for us to grab. And so let's go forward and grab it.
No, you see, it's like being served with a buffet. You always need different assaults in your dish. I mean, I commend the Honorable Kennedy Japan very well. He's an astute politician, a strong member of the New Patriotic Party, held very strong his value system, still in the party, still serving the party, still campaigning for the party to come into office and stay in power. I mean, very well. So if it's been stated by the Honorable Kennedy Japan, been stated by the chairman of the party, and the Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh decides to pick a different tenor of things that they have not said, I don't think that is a matter of.
He's the running mate.
Absolutely.
A lot depended on him.
Yes, which is why I'm telling you that yesterday was an unveiling. I mean, he could have even decided not to speak because it was an unveiling. It was a show of going to introduce him to the Asantehene and then also introduce him to the rank and file of the political party.
And it wasn't important that he looks at
absolutely he looked at the
how he
grassroots.
could bring them together. Whether he was even going to speak for a minute or two.
He looked at the grassroots. He encouraged the grassroots that he has come from their stock. And I was glad when he mentioned that if you're a member of TESCON, if you're a comms member, if you're a regional executive member, if you're an electoral area coordinator, you should know that if he, the Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, can become a running mate of the New Patriotic Party in 2024, then there is hope for you, and then there's a future for you. I mean, so he clearly rallied everybody to go together, because we've come from various stocks. I mean, I used to be in TESCON when I was at the University of Ghana. I'm now a party communicator and a government communicator. So if the Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh ranks and files and rallies everybody together and says that if he, who is an MP, who is a minister for education, minister for energy, brings all of this together and says that, yes, if he can be able to ascend, and that in NPP, hard work pays. I mean, I was glad when he made that statement. It means that that should be me baby cop. You understand?
Can I get some messages? If I have, Adele, pardon me. Let me just do
no problem.
A few messages,
No
and
problem.
then I'll come back to you. Let's go to this one over here. This one over here says that, okay, it's a happy birthday message. Sidu, I'm sure, would handle that for you. Let me try and see how we can get some of the other messages. Now, this one says, good morning, KMJ. Napo should remember he's a driver mate and he should stop shouting on passenger. He should wait for his own turn. That's Stephen Dong in Jirapa sent him that. And it says, from the NPP point of view, the running mate is only pegged for votes, and after election, he or she becomes a driver's mate. The NPP, your government, has done worse. Never again. Okay, let me go this way. It says, good morning, Joy Prime TV. Good morning to you as well. Good to know you're watching. Good morning, KMJ. Napo is a running mate to Dr. Bawumia. It's a perfect pair, and Napo will, with all the youthful exuberance, is admired to the teeming youth of the country as well. Sena Abdul Rahman in Techiman sent in that also.
Bad boy.
Let me go to acidity, and I have for our training. So it says, firstly, let me use this opportunity to wish my amazing senior brother Kojo Sapong from I have for our training. So happy birthday today, yesterday. Non-performing party NPP versus peoples from various constituencies and regional to unveil arrogant Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh Napo. It's needless without you bastion of people's presentation. Will be like one-man church conversation. And how do you know they were passed, by the way? It's ridiculous to hear this NPP government comparing themselves to Kwame and Nkrumah. Another one over here says, good morning, Mr. Host. Even under Mahama, we're doing so for almost 3 years. The economy didn't sink like this as compared doing so to COVID or Ukraine. And that's from Kwame Somoya in... okay, so Kwame Somoya, he says, sent in that one. Let me go to this one over here. He says, good morning. Who made Kwame Nkrumah the best president of Ghana? As a student of political history, I will never support any view that Nkrumah was the best president of Ghana. If I am to choose, it is between President Akufo and President Akufo-Addo. Nkrumah, to me, was outstanding as a leader of government, business, and prime minister. As a president from July 1, 1960 to the exit, he was not spectacular. People make Nkrumah's timeless always. If I am also to choose my best head of state, I will surely go for General Champon. This is not about emotion. So Abdulaziz Jimbani sent in that one. Another one of you says, good morning, Mr. Host. I condemn the practice of chiefs endorsing political... Okay, I think I've read this one. Yeah, I have. Another one over here says that, hi, Host, the two must stay away from tribal politics and allow us to vote according to our terrible circumstances under Akufo-Addo and his Akan Mafia. Indeed, to use a deba of chiefs to declare support for a kingsman is a bad precedent, which must not be encouraged because the public endorsement of Napo sets a stage for other chiefs to engage in open politics and declare support for their kingsmen. Otunfo must not use the back door to impose his son on the suffering masses of Ghana. Since we are wise enough to respond to the economic hardships, abuse of power by NPP leaders, the joblessness, hopelessness, hyperinflation, countless killer taxes, opulent lifestyles, high exchange rates, unprecedented scandals, looting of pension funds, get fund, forest reserves, state bungalows, and hotels. We will not make another fatal mistake to vote for tribal bigots like Napo under any guise. Powerfully, a citizen, not a spectator. Maybe I'll do a few of them, and then we'll say goodbye. This one says, good morning, KMJ. I don't know why NPP always compare everything to NDC. Ghanaians voted for you because you told them you can do better. They promised thousands of promises. It's like everything they said against Mahama is worse under their regime. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Now they are exposed. Tell the NPP man that how much is Gary, fuel, TNT, KK, tomatoes, cement, and fish under Mahama regime, and now under their regime. That's what we shall look at before we vote. By the way, who is the head of the economic management team? Even Rawlings is the most popular president and less corrupt regime, according to break the 8. How much more of them approve? John from Achem Tafo sent in that. This one says, good morning. The president disappointed Ghanaians yesterday and has not been truthful when he had the chance to speak. Instead of the president asking Bawumia to resign, he was rather praising him. The president told us that during Kufuor's era, $1 was exchanging for 1 cedi, but in the tenure of Mills and Mahama, $1 was exchanging for 2 cedis, the reason for which they must resign. But today, $1 is exchanging for 16 cedis. The president should advise Bawumia to resign. Francis from Adair, so I'm not sure that would ever happen, really. Good morning, boss. Napo is a political bigot by saying Ashantis should vote for him because he is one of them. Can he campaign in other regions? Napo claims Akufo-Addo has performed better than all presidents ever in Ghana. And for 8 years under Akufo-Addo, there is no hunger and food shortage in Ghana. A crate of eggs is 70 Ghana, a loaf of Gary is 30, liter of petrol is 15, a tube of yam is 50, a piece of tomatoes is 5 Ghana cedis, a bowl of cake is 5 Ghana cedis, roasted corn is 5 Ghana cedis. Napo is arrogant and disrespectful. Okay, maybe I'll end there. We say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning for bringing us news flash here on the show. We really appreciate it. It's guaranteed quality, and you might just want to pass there and bring something home. In terms of television, refrigerators, we've got phones, accessories that we're selling as well. Call us on 0555-939311 and speak to us. Our WhatsApp is also active, and you can also do so by getting into our app. It's the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store, and you can also download and get everything that you need when it comes to Franco. We're actually
wrapping up. Yeah, I know.
Let's
I beg you, wrapping up. I just want to talk to the young people.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
No, it's a shared minute, actually.
Oh, KMJ.
1 minute.
Oh, KMJ,
But we are young people.
Okay.
Because I've got some Facebook comments that I have to read.
No problem, it's fine. KMJ, listen. I am calling on the young people this morning. If you're watching me and you're listening to me, I'm just calling you to something. We spoke, Arthur Kennedy spoke about Nana Akufo-Addo. He spoke about him. He told you that, look, he won't survive under Nana Addo. We told you about his arrogance and the way that he does his things. All of us took it for granted. We gave it to Nana Addo Bawumia. Bawumia will change the entirety of the economy. You faced it for 7 years. You're about to enter into another election. You're willing to give 4 years of your life to somebody to hold on to it. We're telling you again today that the people that you're bringing today are going to be a problem. Bawumia has failed drastically, left the economy. He's now running with the issues of digitization. John Dramani Mahama has promised you, and he has done it before, that he's going to give you 1 million, he's going to train 1 million young people in coding. He's told you that.
Hey, you're stealing our policy.
Please. Don't do that. 1 million, I'm going to give you. KMJ, you know how we do it, right?
Yeah,
I'm coming. Wait.
You're stealing our policy.
Paul, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this.
I'm sorry.
You don't want to do this. Let me tell you something, KMJ.
I'm sorry.
Okay, because he has done this, I'll prove him wrong. I'll make a video of this program, like I always do, and then I'll bring out our 2020 manifesto with the training of the young people in coding in that 2020 manifesto. Put it aside. I'll bring it and I'll share it with you. And
okay,
then tell
so that's a wrap for you.
That's a wrap. No, that's not a wrap. Oh, I don't know why I'm
Yo, 1 minute. It's 1 minute. Okay, so wrap up. Okay.
Look, they've taken the time, but let me tell you this. Listen, we're going for an election. We all have a stake in what is here. The property is for all of us. We understand that you cannot come and sit on TV and fight for your right. We understand that you need to move out there in order to be able to make sustenance and take care of your family. We're saying that keep doing that. Hold on to that. Keep doing that. Keep pushing. We say we can sit on TV and we can fight, so much such that when we win, all of us, including yourself, will benefit from it. All we're asking you to do is to hold on to hope, hold on to the pressure, keep moving, keep trying to sustain the family.
And when it is 7th December, walk out there. Vote massively for the NDC. This is all we're asking you. Don't do anything else. Leave the rest for us. Just go out. Vote massively for the NDC for 2 things. 1, to allow John Dramani Mahama to reset the economy. 2, so that we can hold them accountable for the things that they have done. And I'll add you a third, so you can have a different lifestyle. We're not asking for anything different. Once you do that, I can promise you, we'll protect your votes.
Okay.
And so, you see, unfortunately, it's not Adele who would be on the ballot. I mean, I'm sure that many young people that he spoke to would have wished that he was on the ballot, but he's not the one who will be on the ballot.
You mean he's better than Mahama?
That is not what I've said.
When I sit here, I represent John Dramani Mahama. When I sit here,
you're meant to say that you're better than him. If you were there, it would have been easier for them to fulfill the name.
I am only going to make, as Empire, like we have said in the Akan proverb, I'm going to make 2 statements. Okay, from the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party who will be on the ballot. Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says that, and I quote, "The challenges we must overcome as a country are too important to let our political differences derail us," end of quote. And the last quote I state is that we must have a mindset of possibilities and not impossibilities. We need to invigorate the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian to believe that we can even do better than we have ever imagined if we put our minds to it. Ghana deserves good leadership. I am a proponent of good leadership, and I propose to the young people who so desire to have a future in this global world to choose none other than the future Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as your next president of the Republic of Ghana. KMJ, I thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much as well for making time for us this morning. Dr. Palgrave, watching down. Congratulations to you once again, Doc. And, there's more coming up, right? Great stuff. He's the government spokesperson on governance and his security joining us this morning. Adele Ibn Sheikh Umar Ibrahim is National Communications for the NDC and, of course, also Director of Operations for the Greater Accra Youth Wing for the NDC. We appreciate both of you, for your time this morning. Let's say a big thank you to News, and they made it possible for us to have the conversation on News Flash. We appreciate them, and it's the place you want to have quality. So please do go there and grab some phones, some accessories, some refrigerators, some, everything that has to do with gadgets, they'll be able to sort you out. And trust me, you will not regret it. So that's our conversation on News Flash this morning. There's still more coming up. And see where the Golden Girl is standing by with the latest in trends. Now, finally, I'll be coming towards sports. A bit later, we've got a conversation on our industry. I'm talking about the creative arts industry as well. The Rosedin Felly and Sierra will be on that conversation as well. So there's more coming up. Do stay here.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fear.